when my mom pulls up, I come outside and she just collapsed in the parking lot. Like, God dang.
Ali Siddiq broke the #1 rule in comedy, and it is the most brutal thing to watch right now that is circulating online. You are never ever going to see another clip like this that's showing real, honest emotion that comes when you lose somebody that you love. And the fact that he shared it on a comedy stage is what broke the rules. No other comedian has ever done this, and as a therapist, it really touched my heart to see him be so honest when he could have just made a bunch of jokes about the situation. If you're new here, my name is Charlize. I'm a mental health therapist. I've been in the field now for 8 years, and I have worked with thousands of clients, helping them understand their identity, their self-worth, and what they actually want in life. In today's video, we are breaking down Ali Siddiq's most honest, unfiltered, and emotional clip. Let's get started.
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I wouldn't give a damn if I was in a shootout. If I look at my watch, it's 3 o'clock, go. Because I had to pick up my 8-year-old sister.
If you're an older sibling, you'll relate to that responsibility. Even if you are a younger sibling that took on responsibility, there is a certain level of care and security and protection that you want to provide for your younger siblings as the oldest. It becomes your duty, it becomes your badge of honor, and it becomes a way that you can share the extension of your parents' love down to your younger siblings, even when you're not in their presence. And him being able to say that he left what he was doing to go pick up his sister already shows you the kind of man and the kind of brother that Ali Siddiq is.
Has given me this responsibility to pick this girl up, and I'm gonna be there because I love her.
Yeah.
And man, this is my heart. This is so important to me that I park my car and I walk to the school to get her so we can walk home. It's October, and she had all little black outfit, and she got her face painted up like a cat because it's Halloween. Her name is Ashley Ray Mitchell. And we walking, and this semi comes by. The bed of it has Ashley's furniture on it. She running, somebody, come on, that man got my truck.
This is the important part about spending time with your loved ones and slowing things down. If you're just moving from moment to moment, rushing through traffic, not really giving yourself time to enjoy the moment, you're going to miss the moments and the stories like these that come from being able to just walk down the street, being able to just get outside, get some fresh air. And yes, he is starting off lighthearted. This scene is about to take a turn, so make sure you stay tuned.
November, she gets sick, right? And so I wasn't picking up. I'm in the streets wilding a little bit, and she gets sick. And
when Ali Siddiq says that he was in the streets wilding, if you know anything about him as a comedian, he loves to say that he was a street pharmaceutical rep and that was very frowned upon. And so make no mistake about it, people can be multifaceted. You can love your family, you can be a stand-up guy, you can be somebody that is obviously taking care of their loved ones, and you can also be involved in some interesting activities that the law may frown upon. But it's important to recognize that just because you may be doing something right now or even in the past time of like your life, that doesn't actually define who you are as a person. Not unless you allow it to.
she get real sick. And I come over, And she lit him. I said, yo, shorty, what you doing? And she on the couch. Small, man, you gotta get better, kid. We gotta get our walks in,
mental
man.
health,
I ain't been able to walk with you.
in mental health, we always do an exam that basically allows us to know how you're really functioning. And a part of that is your physical appearance. And so Ali Siddiq being able to notice immediately that his sister had obviously lost a considerable amount of weight is very telling for how quickly whatever the condition is that she had progresses. He doesn't in this video ever share what the condition is, but you know it's something serious by how concerned he is when he sees her.
And I'm trying to feed her some oatmeal, but she's so weak, and she never see any type of cracks in my armor. And I'm like, yo, man, you gotta eat something.
That's still that caring big brother that's coming out, and rightfully so. Watching her not eat is breaking his heart. If you take a closer look, you'll start to see his emotion is already coming out, because he's also, while telling this story, reliving the experience on stage. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen a comedian cry on stage. And this is why I wanted to bring this clip to you guys, to those of you that value mental health, to those of you that may be caregiving for somebody right now. Like, it is okay to break down. If you feel like you need to cry, please cry. Watching the person that you love suffer is heartbreaking. It is devastating. And the least that you can do for yourself in those moments is release your emotions as you begin to feel them.
I called my mom, like, yo, you gotta come back, because she don't look right.
He's admitting in that moment that he's helpless. There's nothing that he can do in that moment to help her get better. Remember, I mentioned that as an older sibling, there's this deep sense of responsibility that you have for your younger siblings. And he's not saying this in the clip, but I know even for myself, if I ever had to call my parent as the oldest sister and say that something went wrong and that I couldn't handle it, in some ways, like, that's admitting defeat. That's admitting that, like, you failed in your role as the older sibling, as the pseudo parent in that space, because you had to call and ask for help. And so this is also another moment where he's putting his pride and ego to the side and letting his mother know that she needs to get home as fast as she can because something's wrong. And we don't know what state or frame of mind that his mother was in, but just from what he's described and who he speaks of himself as being on stage, that was probably also a really hard phone call for him to make.
The house. My stepdad right behind them. They get her to the hospital. Hours go by.
If you've ever had to sit in a hospital and wait to hear the news on what the outcome was going to be of your illness, of your situation, and of your family member, that is one of the most traumatic things that you can experience. Obviously, he knows that something's wrong because of how long it is that she's there. And it's the not knowing. It's the gap between she left the house, they went to the emergency room, and there's this window of hours where he's not getting any information. He's beginning to become more anxious. He's beginning to be more afraid. He's beginning to wonder, is his sister going to make it? Because why is it taking so long for them to call him and let him know that she's okay?
They called the house, showed it was good. And I hear my mom in the background say, hey, don't tell him until we get there.
That's when reality sets in. He heard his mom say in that moment that his sister had passed. And so the holding his breath from that gap of time when he first called her to tell her to take her to the emergency room to when his mom called back. You can imagine that he's holding it together as best as he can. And when he hears his mom say, "Don't tell him until we get there," that's when he's able to allow himself to literally break. And we're about to see him break.
There's no way they finna tell me that my baby sister gone. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. It's no way.
No parent ever expects to bury their child. The parent is always the one that expects to be buried. And the anguish and heartbreak that his mom felt was also transferred to him as well in many ways by him even feeling that in this moment. And it's been years. It's been years. The one thing that we don't talk about enough is how grief is an extension of love to a person that is no longer physically present. It'd be different if the memories of them were cut off, the emotions were cut off, and when somebody passed, you were able to just keep moving. But we all know that that is not how it works. You continue to grieve, you continue to love, you continue to hurt, you continue to feel devastated by the fact that the person that you love is not here. And he's doing this on a stage at a comedy show for one of his highest grossing specials. And it, in my mind, shows that in order to know who he is, you had to know and understand the things that broke him in his past.
What's up? Saying what's up to me is a fucking death sentence.
Yeah.
What's up, Ali? What the fuck you mean? What's up?
Yeah. That anger, that rage, it's just grief. It's just grief that has taken on a form that could likely be destructive to other people as well. It's not a bad thing to feel anger, to feel rage even, because that's just the emotion that communicates to us that something here isn't right. But where it becomes problematic is when people begin to be destructive and aggressive and violent as a result of their grief and of that anger. And whoever was crossing his path in this moment, speechless at what it is they may have experienced and encountered without even knowing what he was going through.
What's up with what? What's up with what? The only thing in this world that matters to me is gone. And you fucking talking about what's up?
So now you can see why I say that he broke comedy's #1 rule. You let me know down in the comments if you've ever seen a comedian share that level of vulnerability and emotion and raw grief and pain from a past life experiences. And I'm not saying that when comedians make jokes or make light of situations that there isn't value in that. But as a fan of this comedian and as somebody that is also in the mental health field, I had so much more respect for him for taking the time to share this story and not only give the audience what they expected, but somebody in the audience also needed to hear this. Somebody in the audience needed to know that they weren't alone, and somebody in the audience needed to see a black man share his emotions. Too many of us, no matter what race you are, too many of us walk around thinking that emotions make you weak, that you have to be strong, that you have to put on a brave face. And says who? Who told you that? Who told you that you don't get to break the rules in your own life related to what it is that you get to experience as a human being? That person that you may have lost, that grief that you may have experienced, that pain that may have broken your heart and taken pieces of you deserves to be expressed. It has to be expressed because that's the only way that you heal. May we all be able to learn from the experience of somebody who was able to do that on a larger stage, but you don't have to be on a stage to do that. You can begin to journal, you can begin to seek out therapy services, and you can begin to actually get in touch with what it is that you are experiencing so that it doesn't become destructive, aggressive, or harmful to anybody else around you, because that's never what your loved one would have wanted. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Ali Siddiq breaking the number one rule in comedy. And yes, it is brutal to watch, but it is honest, it is transparent, and it is something that I hope you also were able to take something from today. If you like this video, let me know down in the comments below what you learned from it, or if you've been in any similar experiences. And I will see you again in my next episode.